Envoy, I knew you'd show up eventually.
How is Emerald Stair? More importantly, how are you?
Thriving on both counts, I'm happy to report. My revenants were just getting comfortable in Thirdborn when the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock. Not to worry, I can always bring them back to fight another day. I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Oh, and I've been meaning to thank you. Whatever you did in the garden seems to have worked. Emerald Stair is healing, believe it or not. Once this is over, our crops will flourish like never before. Indeed. The metaphysical currents of the living lands are beginning to settle. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing. My flock will keep us safe and secure.
Thank you, Elia. My compliments to the flock, as always.
Enjoy your creepy corpse friends, or whatever.
We know you. Did you help us? We must have seen you in a dream. Fidelio sang for us. We must help him.
We held them off in Fjord. We can hold them off here, too.
How's Casagrada?
As prepared as he'll ever be.
Oh no, the Steel Garrote have hit hard and fast. We'll have to rely on subterfuge.
I'll stay back here. The others can provide close-range support.
I'm not running. Not this time. I can't let the others down.
If you're wounded, find a place to lie down. Someone will get to you before you bleed out. If I seem distracted, I apologize. I'm tending to the fallen, as you can see. Believe it or not, we have more than enough supplies. The Clavager knew this day might come. Unfortunately, my hands are full with the dying and the dead, and there's too many of both. If I don't get any sleep, I might be the next casualty. I suppose I've earned a couple of winks. You look like you could use a few. The next time we see each other, I just hope the fighting's done.
Relaxation helps to clear the mind. Nothing else comes close.
Things moved fast while we were in the garden.
Wow. Feels like everyone's here now.
Envoy? Is it really you? Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
What did you see there? The god you felt in Nokotadek?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion. Their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerity is still pacing her room, muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them?
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
Naku Tedek was riven with those things, not to mention what they did to the land.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel. If they and the Dream Scourge were really the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
Let's hope they don't decide to further amend themselves by coming for our heads.
It was Adir's arrival that disturbed Sapadal. We'll have nothing to fear from this god once we expel you from our lands.
Having Sapadal at our beck and call might be to our advantage. I'd like to see Rawatai try to stand toe-to-toe against a god.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now.
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwine has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking, just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwine's run through the militia like a whirlwind.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
Oh, cheer up. You wouldn't be the first to make that mistake. Might not be the last either, depending on how things go. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwine who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden.
We've had no news from inside for several days. From what we can observe, southern Paradise is in pieces, and the remaining militia batters at the gates to no avail.
Is there nothing our people can do?
Given the state of our supply routes after the Dream Scourge, and the Steel Garrote's destruction, we expect the people trapped inside will run short of fresh food and clean water in a matter of days.
Thirdborn still suffers from the Dream Scourge. Though you may have ended the plague, Envoy, many in Shatterscarp still are not themselves. I could bring no more than a handful when we heard.
Likewise, my wardens are still reeling from effects of the eruption. The keep was saved, but there is much to repair, particularly if we are to endure a siege. Most of my men remain at the keep. I can't risk them against the Steel Garrote for the sake of Paradise, not when we are so few.
Well, that's been a point of debate. We can't agree on how to stand against the Steel Garrote, nor who should lead the effort.
There are too few of us to risk an uncoordinated effort.
So you let the Parodies militia go it alone?
Even if our meager forces should make it inside,
the siege won't end until Ludwig does. And none of you know how to kill her.
Precisely. The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodekan state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. Somewhere inside that hollow head of hers, I believe she always hoped she'd turn you to her side. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodeka, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the Queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig in the tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Ludwig's the muscle. I'm merely the personality. What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
What good are you as a diplomat if you can't even keep your own beast under control?
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands. That's what Ludwig thinks. Adir doesn't revere Wodeka as fervently as it once did. Worship of Mogrin, Berith, even Aethys has gained a foothold. Many no longer trust that the gods are listening. Some question whether they guide the wheel at all. The Empire lost its foothold in the Eastern Reach. The well-bred avoid child-rearing in pursuit of cosmopolitan pleasures. The Church is weak against them. In a world of soul against soul, Ludwig believes we have lost ours. The Empire must change, or it will die. How could I know what paths her convictions would take her down? You and I both know she is not the only one in the Empire who feels this way. Even the Emperor can see, in some sense, that she's right. Why else would we be here? What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative.
Your empire is doing what it does best. Stamping out dissent until surrender is the only option.
Your republics are hardly any different. Their intentions in the Deadfire were certainly not pure.
As you say, we left the republics for a reason.
The Inquisitor answers only to Wodeka. In attacking Paradise, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires. I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here.
Great question.
You have seen more of this land and met more of its people than any of us. Your opinion is informed. You were empowered by the Emperor himself to investigate an impossible problem. And against the odds, you solved it. You are the close personal friend of a rogue god. And in our dealings together, I found you to be a person of substance and conviction. But mostly, it's because you're a Diran, so I trust you. And these fine people here are going to do whatever they like if they don't agree with you anyway. Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you. I like the idea of twisting beneath Adir's boot heel, even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil. I'm open to uniting, if you are.
Thirdborn alone couldn't stand against the storm. But the might of all of us, together, we could deter any but the most fearsome adversaries. And that's what cannons are for.
With the Envoy's support, we'd have a god in our pocket. What could the Empire do to stop us? When my people return to Fjord, we could create such miracles of animancy, the Living Lands would become the breadbasket of the world.
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Adir came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Rest into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? Many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
Of course. Well, don't leave me in suspense. Oh, gods have mercy.
Solus and her Wardens stand vigil with the Living Lands.
You can count on Thirdborn. Our cannons stand with the Living Lands.
Fjord and her animancers stand with the Living Lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
God, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwine and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
The Living Lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks. Ludwine must die her final death.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
Thank you for deserving it. Now, go and teach the Steel Garrote a lesson they will never forget.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
We will send reinforcements to help you reclaim the Eastern Gate. From there, work your way to the main plaza. May all the gods of Eora and the living lands protect you.
Let's take back the city together. Show the Steel Garrote how the living lands takes care of its own.
So we're going after the Steel Garrote now, right? Let's do it.
Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradise Militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Indeed. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side, and I fear it won't be the last. All we ask in return is that you do the same for us. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him. I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. Time for you to get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us. In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing. Precisely. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. That's my point, exactly. I think you already have. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research. When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. So imagine my surprise when you gave the living lands a chance to unite, to prove itself, and to stand tall before its enemies. Granted, it was an uphill climb. The Dream Scourge exposed our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities. But thanks to our struggle, the island finally knows itself. Now we can decide who we want to become. I can't wait to see what we do with that freedom. Agreed. We've fought hard just to defend what's ours. But to answer your question, the future looks bright for a change. Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the living lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. And change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over. Pleasant dreams.
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up. Right. Things feel different now. Wrong, somehow. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. You know, I've never seen a bear go to war. They fight for survival, not for causes. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine, really. But it's Bleste Saka when you think about it. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, Envoy. You go get some Bleste rest.
I can't wait to give the Steel Garrote a piece of my mind. Their reckoning is long overdue.
You're gonna give them a lot more than a piece of your mind. Save some for the rest of us.
Odd fighting alongside the militia, but it feels right. Like we're fighting for the survival of the lands.
How many times do we have to teach the Steel Garrote this lesson?
We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You liberated the god of the living lands. Now they are unchained, free to do whatever they want. That's quite a gamble you made. I admire your confidence. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing their cage like a wild animal. Which means you have leverage over a god. How do you plan on using it? That's a lot of responsibility, but I have faith you're equal to it. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions. Eventually. Maybe you'll find some comfort in prayer, now that one of the gods is listening. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp. You're too kind. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. You know me, always ready with an answer. If I must.
Well, here we are. We're doing this. We're fighting your people. Are you okay? No doubts or second thoughts? Really? Well, you're better than me, dearie. Thinking back on all we've done, it's impressive, don't you think? We went to the garden, a prison untouched by time. We both learned the truth about our Akedan origins. Oh dear. Do you think we knew each other in our past lives? I'm sure I just let you think that, Envoy. And that's skipping to the end. I mean, think of all we've done. You saved Fjord from the clutches of the Steel Garrote. I wish I could have seen the look on Ludwig's face at that. What's left of her face, I mean. And though I may mourn the loss of Nakukubel, I can't deny that Thirdborn is safe now. Who would have thought I'd be here, fighting with an Adiran? Oh. I suppose I can work with that. Truly, thank you. I'm forever changed for our time together. As weird as you are, Envoy, I'm glad we're here, now, ready to save the living lands. Well, let's go kill that dead woman. How can I help, darling? Sweet dreams, Envoy.
I'll keep watch. Get all the rest you need.
Envoy, what do you need? Thanks for talking.
Protect the envoy!
I was worried for a second.
Don't just stand there. Ugh, I've got this.
They're wrong!
Stop right there!
They're wrong! They're wrong!
Be on company!
I say!
For the wheel.
This is
In the dark!
They're wrong! I say!
Faster, I said!
We'll get them next time, dear.
This shall be a bloody day. What was that?
They're wrong! They're wrong! I say! They're wrong! This is! They're wrong!
Sorry in the brass!
Well struck.
Don't worry about the eastern gate. I'll protect your back.
For our freedom!
Gather round.
The envoy. Of course you'd be the last face I see. I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see you here. I have. As an endearing soldier, it's only fitting I die here at the dawn of our war against the living lands. But never mind that. That isn't what's important right now. You've declared yourself for the enemy. You've turned your back on Adir, on the Emperor. Again. I don't understand. Why, envoy? And the others here are deserving. Why? Because they made it here some number of years before us? You won't stop us. Even if I'm food for worms. One way or another, these lands belong to Adir.
What are you doing here? I thought you left town weeks ago. About time. You're the only one Ludwig will listen to. I saw a few on my way here. I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it. You shouldn't find much opposition down there. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garot a long time ago. But, well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck.
We should go now, while the fighting's died down.
Can you not hear the screaming outside?
She's right. We can't go now. Then when? Should we wait till the Garot set this bar alight?
They have thaumaturges out
Envoy!
there.
I doubted I'd ever see you again. I imagine I could guess what brings you back to Paradise. I must thank you once again for bringing me the Luminous Adra so long ago. With some creative exploration, I was able to refine the Adra into a poultice that heals wounds at a fantastic rate. Yes, one almost has the inkling that danger lurks around the corner. I know you have much to do in town, so I'll let you go. Thank you again for everything.
Go on, get out there and win this. Let's save a few for me, eh?
Envoy, am I ever glad to see you?
Why did I leave Valia? Why?
There are people trapped under the rubble. I should be out there digging.
I heard. Stop right there.
We've got company.
They're off!
Nicely done.
They're off!
Who's next? Anyone?
Defensive up.
Envoy over here.
What exactly do you think you're doing? You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the steel garrote. What have you got to say for yourself? Well, at least you're alive. Try and keep it that way. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. You're damn lucky to be one of those few. At least for now. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. How about you, Giada? Holding up all right?
Well, we have to do battle with the Death Guard, so I have that to look forward to. Do you need anything? Money, supplies?
Once this is over, I could always use another pair of hands at the clinic. The invitation's still open.
Thank you, but I've decided to tough it out as an animancer. On my own terms. Can you manage without me?
Are you kidding? I'm happy for you. Besides, I've got Chico on bandage duty. I just wanted you to know there's a place here whenever you want it. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practiced with Uncle Capo up 100 times. Tight, but not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow. Envoy, it's good to see you fighting on the right side of history. Out of curiosity, what turned you against the Steel Garrote? It's high time we explain that to a few people. You know the Steel Garrote a lot better than we do. Their coordination is damn impressive. Any advice? Not a bad idea. When the fighting starts, some soldiers forget how to think on their feet. Ready to make history whenever you are.
Good. We'll need them when the time comes.
Dream with us!
Ludwine's lost it. She's hunting everyone and everything, even you.
Monica demands your submission. Stand against her and fall!
Get ready. Skeleton lady's up ahead. This is it,
There
Envoy.
you are.
The only part that matters.
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? You'll get your chance. Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
Don't insult my intelligence or my commitment to the cause. Treaties can be burned. The hands which shook over whatever deal you struck can be lopped off at the wrist.
Right. If she starts lopping off hands, I'm just going to attack her. Sound good?
As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live. Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
There goes the element of surprise.
All this time, I knew you'd be worthy prey. Don't let me down.
Well, that's the nicest thing she's ever said. Hey, maybe she's friendly after all.
Farewell, Envoy.
Famous last words.
There's no coming back this time. Prepare yourself for the next world.
Once I'm done killing you...
We are every seed in the soil. We will always grow.
Bury in the brush!
Beg for help from
Wherever Ludwig is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for, but we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the Living Lands has escaped Adiran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. For the rebels of Paradise, this is not a victory they can share. Fearing your wrath, they retreat deeper into the wilderness, taking their secrets and ideals with them. The refugees of Emerald Stair resettle in Thirdborn, bringing their skills and research to aid the local community. What starts as an uneasy partnership blossoms into a bond of trust. Through shared adversity, they find common ground. In time, the people of Emerald Stair return to their city of Fior Messiverno. Research yields new developments in the struggle against nature. Technology is shared among the united settlements. The Empire cannot get in the way of progress. Though free, Shatterscarp is still haunted by the surviving Dream Thralls after the destruction of Naku Kubel. The routine hunt for the remaining monsters becomes part of Thirdborn's everyday life, another chore atop a hardscrabble existence with few comforts. The youthful make a game of the hunt, retrieving artifacts from the dead to return to those they left behind. Solace Keep clings to its long-held isolation at first, but after mourning her friend Kostya, Mihala reluctantly deigns to open the doors of the fortress. Some dwarves greet newcomers with glee. Others still mutter darkly about outsiders. Mihala flounders in her earliest negotiations with the rest of the Living Lands, but slowly learns compromise. She develops a taste for Valian sweets. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him.
With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Mes Iverno lives on in her. In a past life, Yatzli was given a task: protect the history and knowledge of the godless. Now, many lifetimes later, she continues upholding that oath. She moves into the library in the garden, spending her days poring over the clay tablets there. But not even the letters from, and rare visit to, her lover help ease the loneliness that fills her days. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Sopadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin, tentatively, to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Sopadal pours a fragment of their power into the statue they claimed from the temple of Aethys. Newly embodied, they roam the living lands and learn to experience the world as Kith do. Their first attempts at locomotion are clumsy, and a stand of innocent trees is violently returned to the wheel. But as their confidence grows, so does their grace. Soon, they are bounding across the plains of eastern Dawnshore, leaping the river gorge in Emerald Stair, scaling the shark's teeth of Shatterscarp, and fearlessly wading into the Tusk's acid sea. When they break, they come to you to put them back together, and in time, they learn to fix themselves. They wander far afield. You see less of them, but they are never far from your thoughts, and on the rare occasion they return, they always bring you something beautiful and strange. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.